students can have access to it later on. Okay, Assalamu alaikum. So we will be looking at one sample candidate response. It's a descriptive piece of writing, and it's about describe an object that has been broken for a long time. Okay, this has been taken from Cambridge English as a English first language. This is from the paper. All right, so this is a script of a student. Okay, and we'll be looking at descriptive writing piece today. Yes. All right. So describe an object that has been broken for a long time. Okay. So descriptive writing is slightly different than the narrative because descriptive writing involves lots of visual imagery, all right, and imagery so that reader could actually relate to it. And descriptive writing is always done with a zoom in technique. Now, when you have to, um, you know, slowly and gradually paint things for the reader. All right. So let's wait for 30 seconds more so that more and more people can join us. Okay. Okay. So let me just check who is here today. So Talib is here, Ibrahim Yasser is here, Sibka is here. All right. Okay now. Um, Ibrahim Yasser, can you please read aimlessly lay there through many weather cycles and landscape changes? Ibrahim Yasser, I hope your mic is working. Can you please read it from here? I'm highlighting it. Ibrahim, can you hear me? Okay, Ibrahim is not responding. Okay, I got a message from Ibrahim. Let me just check. All right, your mic is not working. Okay. Okay, more and more students are joining us. Okay, so this we're looking at a sample candidate response, which talks about, which is a sample descriptive writing. And the topic is an object, describe an object that has been broken for a long time. Okay, and that has been broken for a long time. So we're looking at a descriptive piece of writing, and at the end, I'll tell you how many marks that this student could get at the end. Okay, so it's starting. Descriptive writing is with the use of imagery. You have to slowly paint pictures in reader's mind. It says aimlessly lay there through many weather cycles and landscape changes. Run down, red and rusty, lay the old two furrowed plough. Comfortably lay bed in a bed of gorse, nettles, thorns, and roots. It peacefully it peacefully watched the world go around. It had been sat there since the day a sly stone stole its power. Sly stone stole its power. This is a use of alliteration that student has done. This is the use of alliteration. What is alliteration, Talib? Can you explain that? What is alliteration? Okay, I'm getting messages in the chat window as well. So alliteration, all right. Okay, alliteration is okay. Sibla, can you please tell what is alliteration? I would like someone to turn on the mic and please speak on mic instead of me talking on screen only. Ibrahim Yasser, I hope you do know what is alliteration. We've talked about it in the class. All right. So descriptive piece of writing is always a combination of figurative language. It has dominating imagery. Alliteration is when you are using consonant sound, two consonant sound together, like sly, stone, stole. All right. Sly, stone. S sound of S is repeating. Okay. So that's alliteration. Alliteration can create effect in reader's mind. Okay, and how can it create a effect in reader's mind is they register a particular image in reader's mind. Okay, and that image has to do with description, how vividly one can visualize what was the reason why this flow had become run down. Okay, snapping 2-inch thick iron clean off like a brutal. Okay, Ali is also here. Like a brutal amputation for World War One. Okay. Now you can also see the kind of language the writer, this candidate is using. Okay. So amputation for World War One. The plow stubby leg was protected by a thick blanket of weeds. The one furrow left kept the retired blow off the ground, with the handlebars gentle pressed up against the hedge. Now you can see this personification has been used over here. So what I'll do, I'll make figurative language yellow, and I'll make the words which are high frequency vocabulary words with green. Okay. Now, to those who have just joined us, just for your information, we're looking at a sample candidate response. Okay, and the task is describe an object that has been broken for a long time. Okay, so that is what we're looking at. So we just read the opening paragraph, and in opening paragraph, you can clearly see that this candidate has tried to write descriptive piece of work, an opening paragraph clearly helping reader to visualize what is that object and since how long it is lying there in the ground and in what condition has it been laying and what is the current state of the object. All right. So it says aimlessly lay there through many weather cycles and landscape changes. Run down, red and rusty lay the old furrowed plow comfortably lay in a bed of gorse, nettles, thorns, and roots in uh, roots. All right, it peacefully watched the world go around. It had been sat there since the day a sly stone stole um, its power. Okay, so that's what the opening paragraph is all about. Okay. So, Ali Zishan, can you read the next paragraph, please? From here onwards. Ali, are you there? Ali Azim?
Sir, jagged edge from where the furrow left the leg, leaving the empty, desolated leg hanging from the frame like a heavy, droopy branch clung on to the side of a 300-year-old oak tree. The metal was beyond repair, attacked by rust, which buried itself onto the iron like blood. Thirsty leeches, shards of rust beginning to flake away from the cold iron frame. Smooth bumps rust covered the leg, suffocating it like a cliff drop. The soft rusted texture on the iron drastically ended, leaving a sharp tooth.
Actually, all right. Now, in this paragraph, we could clearly see we could, in descriptive writing, you have to focus on one aspect only. All right. So now, in this paragraph, we can clearly see that writer has tried to cover multiple elements of that plow and how it has been desolatedly hanging from the frame, okay, and how like a heavy droopy branch clung on to the side of a 300 years old oak tree. Now he has used a simile also. So descriptive writing is actually an evidence of you can use descriptive in descriptive writing. You have to paint pictures slowly in reader's mind, and that can only be done with the help of multiple figurative devices such as simile, personification, metaphor, imagery, and all. Okay. So Ali, can you tell us what have you understood out of this paragraph? Are you able to visualize through the words that has been written there? Is this text helping you to visualize what is he talking about? Ali Azim? You can say yes or no. Or if in either case, all right, you have to explain why it's not helping you to understand, or why and how is it helping you to understand as well. Yes, all right. How is it helping you to paint things? Okay, what is the writer talking about? Okay, I'm getting a message in the chat window. Yes, all right, let me read that. Yes, yes, all right, yes, yes, okay. But yes, that yes needs explanation though. Okay, now, Ali, please continue. This is the continuation of the paragraph, by the way. So, leaving a sharp tooth like what? Yeah, please continue from here.
Like a field to the end of the leg, shaped like the inside of a great white shark's mouth. The thorns didn't dare get near as they witnessed the murder of a long snaky arm get caught on a tooth sliced to bits.
Okay, thank you, Ali. A stoned lane ran past the lonely plough in the hedge, leading to a derailed farm yard. On the yard sat four stone buildings, once blessed with the job of housing a family and rearing stock, are now home to rubble and rodents. Sat on the left of the lane was the farmhouse, rotten wooden door, tried its best to keep the weather outside. Leaves blew under the door, through gaps, okay, and nailed into the door by long tails. Ivy clung in to the stone skeleton, putting his fingers like roots into the concrete lay between the stones. Moss covered anywhere the ivy wasn't. Okay, the roof sloped inwards with missing slate. Just behind the house was a stubble which kept the uh, shine horse warm throughout the winter while she wasn't in the work, and offered a cool bit of shade for the horse in the summer when it worked like hell. Okay, so majestic, massive, and muscular horse pulled the plow through grass fields, easily slicing through the soil 1 foot deep, leaving the field upside down. The horse and plow, replaced by a tractor, put them out of work. The sad, broken plow in the hedge washed while everything moved on, leaving the plow aimlessly lay there. Now, this is the end of the description. All right. And description. So there's a connection that writer is building from the opening paragraph till the closing paragraph. That connection is very much important. Either you're doing descriptive writing or you're doing narrative writing. You need to establish a connection between your opening and closing paragraph. Okay, now we can see the writer has started off with the sentence aimlessly lay there lay there through many weather cycles. All right, and then he says how this.
I
Um,
bet, Paul.
I'm sorry. All right. So how this has been laying there. All right, the blow, and now how that has been replaced by tractor, and then he is still telling us about the horse who once had been proudly plowing the field, and with the now because of technology, that plow and horse are not needed. Okay, so that's how the writer closes it over here. The sad broken plow in the hedge. Wretched is washed while everything moved on, leaving the plow aimlessly lay there. So this is a beauty of descriptive writing that slowly writers paint things in reader's mind, and that's required a lot of technique of figurative language. You need to have a good understanding of figure of speech to write anything, to write a descriptive piece. So let's have a quick recall of figurative devices. What are the different figurative devices that you can use in your writing to vividly paint picture in reader's mind? So let's recall figurative devices. And we'll look at few that writer has used over here. So what are the different kinds of different figurative devices? Meetup.
Sir, what was the question?
What are the different examples of figurative language, figurative devices?
Metaphors?
Yeah, metaphors. Yes. Similes. What else? You can all list the
Personification.
personification. Personification. What else? Alliteration. Oxymoron. Yes. Imagery. Use the five senses to paint picture in reader's mind. It can be, I usually say six senses, by the way. Intuitions are also part of imagery. Yes. Let me just check. I got few messages in the chat window as well. Okay, new message. Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia, that's right. That's a very strong figurative language, by the way. Okay, sound words are called onomatopoeia. Yes. And number 8. So you need to have a very good understanding of these figurative devices so that you can write a better descriptive piece. Okay. Otherwise, we also need figurative devices in narrative writing, because these help to keep your story, keep your narrative moving. At the same time, adding characterization or maybe adding voice to your narrator. Okay, to make your narrator voice stronger. Okay, so if you're using these figurative devices, now what we'll do, so simile, metaphor, personification, a very powerful device is hyperbole. All right, that's very much important. Okay, let me ask all of you one by one. What is a metaphor, and how can we use? And can you identify any metaphor that has been used in this text? Okay, so I'll just keep that open for you all. I will look at the first paragraph over here. Instead, only for metaphor, can you please pick up as many figurative devices as you can that have been used over here in this paragraph? Meetup, can you please read this paragraph once more? Aimlessly there.
Oh, aimless. Okay. Aimlessly laid there through many weather cycles and landscape changes. Run down, red and rusty lay the old two-furrowed plough. Comfortably lay in a bed of gorse, nettles, thorns, and roots. It peacefully watched the world go around. It had been sat there since the day a sly stone stole its power, snapping 2-inch thick iron clean off, like a brutal amputation for WW1. The plough's stubby leg was protected by a thick blanket of woods. The one furrow left kept the retired plough off the ground, with the handlebars gentle pressed up against the hedge.
Okay, thank you, Meetup. Against the hedge. All right. So, so what figurative devices have been used in this opening paragraph by the student?
Snapping 2-inch thick iron clean off like a brutal amputation for WW1.
World War One, yes. So snapping 2-inch thick iron clean off like a brutal amputation for World War One. Which figurative language has been used in this, l- you know, line that you're referring to?
Hmm. Metaphors?
What is a metaphor?
Isn't it like when you compare something that's to something that's not real?
It can be real, it can be non-real as well. All right. Snapping 2-inch thick iron clean off like a brutal amputation for World War One. What does the word amputation mean, though?
Like when you cut off a limb because of an accident or like a sickness.
That's right. Okay. All right. So it's telling it one part of the, and it's a personification as well. It says like one part, one hand of the, one limb of the plow r- had been brutally cut. All right, and it or just like it, the way there were multiple brutal amputation in World War One. Okay, so the plow's stubby leg was protected by a thick blanket of weeds. All right, now it's also a personification. The plow's stubby legs. Stubby leg was protected by a thick blanket of weeds. Now, the thick blanket of weeds is also a metaphor. All right. So blanket of weeds, all right, which clearly tell us there were dense weed um on the leg of the plow. All right. The one Pharaoh left kept the retired plow. All right. Now retired plow is again a personification that has been used over here. Off the ground with handle, bars gentle pressed up against the hedge. Okay, we are reading a sample descriptive writing, and the question was describe an object that has been broken for a long time. Okay, so Talib, what can you guess? How many marks would this candidate have taken? Can you guess? This is a paper from English as a first language 0500. English first language 0500, right? And marks in English first language for creative writing composition are 40. So how many marks would this candidate have taken? Talib, any guess? You can put a wild guess in the group. Yes. So let me just check. I'm getting the answer now. So it says full 40 out of 40. All right. Meena, what do you think? How many marks would this candidate have taken?
What was the full marker? Like, how many marks can you get?
40 out of 40. Yes. Out of 40.
35, 36, something?
35, 36. All right. Okay. All right. So full. Talib says full. Maybe 35. 26. Ibrahim Yasser is saying 26. Why 26, Ibrahim Yasser? Don't you feel like it's actually high candidate response? It's not mediocre. It's a high candidate response. Yasser, this is not Ibrahim Yasser, this is not a narrative. Remember that one. There's a difference between narrative and descriptive. Narrative writing has ups and downs. All right, there is a complete narrative curve that you follow at times. All right, so you need to be very much careful of climax, resolutions, and problem or rising action or falling action. Whereas in descriptive writing, you zoom in on that topic. All right. Now the topic was describe in a broken piece. What was the topic? I'll just go back to it again. The topic was describe an object that has been broken for a long time. So if we keep that in mind, so the candidate has been successfully, able to paint things slowly to reader's mind. What was the blow? How it had been um, amputated, all right, and what was the crisis that he went through? Okay, so multiple figurative devices have been used. So it's not a narrative. So do not judge it on a narrative scale. Okay, so now let's look at one more paragraph here, and I would like you to um, identify the figurative language that has been used over there. So I could see Mariam was here as well a few minutes back. Let me just check if she's around or not. Mariam, can you please read from here? I hope your mic is working. A cobblestone lane ran past the lonely plough in the hedge from here. Mariam, is your mic working? Just check. And Maria is not responding. Okay, so who else can read? All right. Sipga, can you please read from here? A cobblestone lane. Okay, Maria is not feeling well. Meetup, you need to do the favor again, please. Read from here.
A cobblestone lane ran past the lonely drove in the hedge, leading to a terraced farmyard. On the yard sat four stone buildings, once blessed with the job of housing a family and rearing stock, are now home to rubble and radins. Sat on the left of the lane was the farmhouse. Rotten wood door tried its best to keep the weather outside. Leaves blew under the door through gaps gnawed into the door by long tails. Ivy clung to the stone skeleton, putting its finger like roots into the concrete lay between the stones. Mass covered anywhere the ivy wasn't. The roof sloped in slaped, I don't know, in Ward's missing state tires. Just behind the house was a stable which, so could you scroll? Or okay, which kept the Shire horse warm throughout the winter while she wasn't in work, and offered a cool lit of shade for the horse in the summer when it worked like hell.
Identify the figure of speech that has been, or figurative language that has been used in this paragraph, please. Need to zoom, adjust to the screen. Yeah, over here. You have good 2 minutes to skim through the text and not skim through the text and identify the figure of speech that has been used in this text, please. It's okay. Noisy rooms, noisy houses are part of online classes. Even my house was a little noisy in the beginning. My son kept on coming to me, trying to disturb and distract me. So it's okay. It's part of online classes now. So it never get ever taken aback, or one must not be even um, feeling slightly embarrassed that, oh, my background is noisy. So it's okay. It's part of online classes now. We all are connected from our home, so we can understand the background noises, please. All right, now let's look at this one. So the topic is you have to identify the figure of speech that are used in this paragraph, please. You can share your response in the chat window, and you have good 2 minutes for it. showing you a response of the examiner to this work. What did the examiner write when he wanted to, when he was checking the paper? All right, and how he has commented on the paper. So let me share another screen with all of you, and we'll go through the comments that the examiner has made. Okay. So the examiner says the opening, we all agree to it to some extent. The opening of this response is showing strong signs of effective descriptive writing. Okay. So there's effective descriptive writing with some clear images of broken flow lying in the field. The vocabulary is wide and precisely used. However, all of this is undermined by the sentence structure issues. There were incorrect or missing punctuations and three spelling errors like lay, comfortably, or gently. There were few errors in the spelling. Okay, so to help this student, you could begin a formative feedback. Okay, firstly, see if you can. So the student needs to work on the spelling and punctuation. All right, there was nothing wrong in it. Secondly, firstly, if they can pick up the spelling errors as this is where speaking aloud can help. They may not know how to spell the word correctly, but they may well realize how it can be arranged. So now this is very much important for a student to write correct spellings. Okay, so this candidate got 33 out of 40 marks in the script, by the way. Okay, so what we were looking at a descriptive piece of writing of a student. Okay, I'll share this paper with all of you in the group. You can go through with it and try writing a descriptive piece on the same topic and bring back your work tomorrow in the classroom. So describe an object that has been broken for a long time. If you have any question before I sign out, please ask in the chat window or you can unmute your mic to talk to me. We have a face-to-face class tomorrow at 2 o'clock in Academy. Any question?